Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron, I'm so thankful you're here with us. We're taking a verse-by-verse and word-by-word journey through the book of the tax collector Matthew, also known as Levi, in the New Testament, first gospel, first book. Not necessarily the first written. Some people think it was. I've seen some good evidence it was written by 42 to 44 AD. Some people say even 36, 37, 38 AD. Others would say a decade or so later. So we're in Matthew 21, and we're in some parables here. We're in lesson 57 of this journey. Do check out our other journey through Matthew's, and you might want to check out Genesis and Romans. Just put the Bible on loop there. Also Proverbs, that book of wisdom. And we're in verse 29 of Matthew chapter 21. So let's get started. Thanks for being here. He answered and said, I will not, but afterward he repented and went. So let's start with verse 28, even though I kind of went over verse 28 before. But what think ye? This is Jesus talking. A certain man had 2 sons, and he came to the first and said, Son, go work today in my vineyard. He answered and said, I will not. But afterward he repented and went. So I've done that before. Verse 30, and he came to the second and said likewise, and he answered and said, I go, sir, and went not. I've done that too. Unfortunately, I'm just human. You probably have done that too. Verse 31, whither of them twain or 2 did the will of his father? They say unto him the first. Now this is Jesus. This is his last week before his crucifixion. And he's just telling some parables. The first, Jesus saith unto them, verily, or truly, that's Latin veritas, I say unto you, check out the Veritas forum too, I really like that YouTube channel, that the publicans or tax collectors and the harlots go into the kingdom of God before you. So the Pharisees and the Herodians and the scribes and the Sadducees, the chief priest, the political establishment, religious establishment, trying to figure out what's he saying. So verse 32, Jesus explains it. For John came unto you in the way of righteousness, and ye believed him not. But the publicans and the harlots believed him, and ye, when ye had seen it, repented not afterward that ye might believe him. So John preached hard and strong, and man, it was what people would call the dregs of society, believed him. But the religious establishment says, who's that dude eating locust and wild honey and leather and girdle out in the desert? You know, they just made fun of him. So verse 33, and this still happens today. I mean, the poor hear the gospel and all this. Hear ye another parable. There was a certain householder which planted a vineyard and hedged it round about and digged a wine press in it, and built a tower and let or rented it out to husbandmen and went into a far country. You'll see how this plays out. And that's also very specific, detailed instructions on the vineyard process of the time. Verse 34, and when the time of the fruit drew near, he sent his servants to the husbandmen that they might receive the fruits of it. So he kind of rented it out to a bunch of people doing the garden. Verse 35, and the husbandman took his servants and beat one, killed another, and stoned another. Verse 36, again, he sent other servants more than the first. They did unto them likewise. Now, here's just a pure-hearted person. Verse 37, but last of all, he sent unto them his son, saying, they will reverence my son. You know, I'm thinking if they killed everybody else, why would they reverence my son? But you know, God had faith. So this is really, they're sending prophets and all this, and the nation of Israel is killing them. So finally God says, I'm going to send my son. I'm coming in flesh. And verse 38, but when the husbandmen, or the vineyard keepers, saw the son, they said among themselves, this is the heir. Come, let us kill him, and let us seize on his inheritance. Verse 39, and they caught him and cast him out of the vineyard and slew him. So it's obviously talking about Jerusalem. When the Lord, therefore, of the vineyard cometh, what will he do unto those husbandmen? Verse 41, they say unto him, he will miserably destroy those wicked men, and let out his vineyard unto other husbandmen, who shall render him the fruits in their season. So they're following the story, the parable. They're like, yeah, that's horrible for them to do that. They haven't quite put themselves in the story yet. Jesus said to them, did you never read in the scriptures? Notice Jesus never diminished the scriptures. He used the scriptures. He believed the scriptures. The stone which the builders rejected, the same has become the head of the corner. This is the Lord's doing, and it's marvelous in our eyes. So Jesus is the chief cornerstone. I love that old shirt about chief cornerstone. But Jesus is the chief cornerstone. They rejected it. But now he's become, without Jesus, you can't make it in. And it's marvelous in our eyes. Quoting in the Old Testament, obviously. Therefore say I unto you, the kingdom of God shall be taken from you and given to a nation, bringing forth the fruits thereof. That's made up of Jews and Gentiles alike. A nation. We're a holy nation. 1 Peter 2:9. And whosoever shall fall upon this stone shall be broken. We have to fall upon Jesus. But on whomsoever it shall fall, look at Daniel 2, it will grind him to powder. God's wheel of judgment grinds exceedingly slow many times, but grinds exceedingly fine. Verse 45, and when the chief priests and Pharisees had heard his parables, they perceived that he spake of them. They finally said, hey, this guy's talking about us. You know, the first parable, the father said, do this. We said, yeah. But then when it came, we didn't do it. And then this parable, we need to give him the fruits of what God's blessed us with, and we did. And we killed the son. Verse 46, when they sought to lay hands on him, laying hands, foundational doctrine of the church, Hebrews 6, but it doesn't always mean like laying hands on head with oil and all this. Sometimes it means, lay hands suddenly on no man, don't throw him out of the church. Maybe is what that means. Verse 46, when they sought to lay hands on him, they feared the multitude because they took him for a prophet. So they missed John, they're missing Jesus too, God in flesh, the Son. So God bless. Hey, thanks for being with us, and join us daily. Check out our other videos, and we try to be on here daily in some form or fashion. God bless. Talk with you later. Bye-bye.